Hey friend, I'm Michael McCurry, and I'd like to ask you a question. Have we met before? I was just thinking about it, and I realized that there are so many of you that we've never connected with before. Every radio broadcast, every YouTube video that goes out, every podcast that is uploaded, there are numerous dozens, hundreds, maybe thousands of people that interact with them for the very first time. It's almost like an interview of sorts. Of course, there are many of you that are faithful listeners. You listen day in and day out to Bible Tract Echoes, this radio broadcast, Monday through Friday. You are on board. To you, I say thank you. But if you're listening right now, and this is the first time you've heard my voice, let me say welcome. Thank you so very much and give you a brief introduction. I dive right in and I forget about the new folks, and I apologize for that. Let me take ownership of the fact that I've forgotten about you. And if that's the case, I apologize. I'm sorry. But let me rectify that mistake right now. I'm Michael McCurry. My wife Rebecca and I want to thank you for tuning in to this program. I've had the grand privilege of being the director of Bible Tracts Incorporated for 4 years now. To God be the glory. My two girls, Emmy and Lucy, they are right now, let's see, I've got to think about this because one of my girls is just about to turn 5. The other is 6, 6.5, I guess. But Lucy is just about to turn 5 in just a couple of days. It blows my mind. Goodness gracious. Well, as you can tell, I can be easily sidetracked. It's great to make your acquaintance. If I've never met you before, I'd love to hear from you. No pressure whatsoever. But if you get comfortable enough, I'd love for you to text me. If something we talk about today confuses you, bothers you, maybe puts you on edge, or maybe it's a blessing, an encouragement, a comfort. Either way, on either end of the spectrum or right down the middle, I'd love to hear from you. You can text me. I'm going to give you my personal cell phone number. Do people still do that today? Most people using WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, and all of that. And I like to use text. So if you'd like to text me, I'd love to hear from you. You can text me at 309 316 7240. Let me give you that number one more time, real slow if you're listening. If there's something about what we talk about today that kind of just puts a red flag up, or maybe puts a green flag up, or whatever it may be, and you'd like to be heard, I'd love to hear from you. You can text me at this number one more time, 309 316 7240. I'm going to be talking today about the ministry of Bible Tracts Incorporated. We've had a wonderful year in 2023, and we're praying God gives us a wonderful 2024. At the end of the day, it's all up to Him. We work as hard as we can for the glory of God, but at the end of the day, it's all for His glory. God is going to do what He is going to do, and we just want to be along for the ride. We want to be in His will. In that vein, in that thought, we come to this portion of our latest newsletter. I'm giving just a little bit of a sampling, a little review of what God's done through our newsletter that we just produced. We have what we're calling a call to prayer, a call to prayer for the month of January. I realize it's just a few days away, and I want to tell you this. We've seen it time and time again. When we emphasize prayer, God works mightily. And as we approach January of 2024, we're extending an earnest invitation to you, to each and every one of you listening right now. We want you to be part of a concerted prayer effort for Bible Tracts Incorporated. Please, if you would, think about this. I want you to realize prayer actually costs something. I could ask for money, of course. You'd expect me to. I'm the director of a nonprofit. We survive on donations, all that type of stuff. I mentioned money a little bit yesterday, but you'd expect that. But money, honestly, no matter where you are, especially in America, even in current economic times, all that type of stuff, God's people, honestly, if we needed to, we have money for our priorities, things that we want to do. I realize there are some that are struggling mightily, but for many of us, if we really dove into the couch cushions, we could find a dollar or two. Honestly, if we thought about it long enough, if we put off a luxury purchase of some kind, we could have an extra $20. So when I ask people for money, if they need to assuage their guilt, if they need to push that little twinge away, they could throw a 5 or a 10 or a 20 at us. And that's fine. I don't down that or push that away. Please understand, we survive on small donations like that, or any size donations, really. But time, that is something that is in short supply. We don't seem to have any time, do we? We have scheduled it all away. And what I'd like to ask you to do is this: to spend 1 minute each day on 5 different topics. I have 5 of them. They all start with a W. They're alliterated. Make it easy for you to remember, okay? What I'd like to ask you to do is this. For the month of January, I'd like to ask you to pray this 5-point list in just 5 minutes. I'd like you to do that for the entirety of the month of January. Here's that list. The first is this: His will, God's will. Since our foundation in 1938, BTI, Bible Tracts Incorporated, has functioned as a faith-based ministry, freely distributing gospel tracts worldwide. Though we don't demand payment for our free tracts, God has always presided and provided over our 85-year journey. We fervently pray Psalm 54, verse 2. Hear my prayer, O God. Give ear to the words of my mouth. Our current prayer needs include the following: discernment to recognize and act upon the doors God opens for us. This is still specifically about His will. Always prioritizing His perfect plan over our own aspirations. Also, related to His will, we need a receptive heart to the gentle nudges of the Holy Spirit, ensuring that each step we take aligns with His grand design and furthers His kingdom, not our own. So, number 1, His will. Number 2, the workers. We stand firm in the belief that the power of the gospel is in the word and not the worker. Yet, our BTI team deeply values your prayers as we strive to steward this precious ministry and legacy. Your prayers for our dedicated staff would be cherished. Of course, I have the privilege of being the executive director. My wife is Rebecca. My girls are Emmy and Lucy. The director of operations for our ministry is Austin Marriott. He actually happens to be my brother-in-law. His wife is Rachel. He has a daughter, Adelaide, and a son, Lemuel. We have multiple office staff folks, wonderful folks. Todd Lothbaum, his wife, Joanna, his children, Amy, Caitlin, Bruno, and Rebecca. Then Matt Pearson. Some of you may have heard him on this radio broadcast before. His wife is Amanda, and he has 3 children, Magnus, Caden, and a lovely daughter, Novelyn. And then Weston Colvin, the newest addition to our team. His mom is Jane, and his sister is Laura, and we're so thankful for this entire team of workers God has given us. So His will, workers, that's 2 minutes. Then the third is the work. Our tracts, just like the gospel, they remain free. Despite rising costs, now double what they were just 2 years ago, we've distributed over 5 million tracts in 2023 alone. The demand is overwhelming, but we serve an omnipotent God. And so we ask you to keep us in your prayers as we make crucial decisions and anticipate the need for costly equipment upgrades and purchases in the near future. Again, the desire, my hope, my prayer is that you'll consider partnering with us in prayer for January of 2024. I'm asking people to pray 5 minutes a day, every day of January. His will, the workers, the work. How about wisdom? Our plea is simple, but paramount. We need divine wisdom in navigating the paths ahead. In our ever-evolving world, discernment in decision-making is crucial. Lastly, we ask you to pray for the world. The need for the gospel is universal. from our base in Odell, Illinois, to every corner of the globe. We request your specific prayers for our 2024 global outreach opportunities, particularly in regions like Scotland, Kenya, New Zealand, Myanmar, Mexico, Brazil, and countless other nations. We're eager to see God amplify his work in these lands. Bible Tracts is truly, honestly, is witnessing God's transformative handiwork. Our heart's desire is to remain vessels for his honor and glory. And as you consider setting aside time this January, we ask that you let this guide his will, the workers, the work, wisdom, and the world be your guide and serve as a compass. We want to thank you for partnering with us in prayer. If you'd like more information, again, you can text me. My cell number is 309 316 7240. If you join in with us, you will be joining an esteemed team that we're calling the Huldah Levine Prayer Band. Huldah Levine, who was she? She was Paul Levine's mother. And she was a prayer warrior, from what I understand by Paul Levine's testimony. Paul Levine tells us that his praying mother had a massive and outsized impact on his life. And so we're thankful for the opportunity to kind of dive into our heritage just a little bit and to kind of give a moniker, a name to this emphasis. We know behind every great movement of God stands a legacy of prayer, and the story of BTI is no exception. She was a genuine prayer warrior, a Swedish lady with a distinct accent, but she possessed an unwavering dedication to seeing her son serve the Lord. And we owe a significant part of BTI's foundation, of course, to Paul Levine. But if we owe Paul Levine, then we owe Huldah Levine, his mother. The hand that rocks the cradle rules the world, they say. Well, if our 85-year history is anything to rejoice over, then we stand on the shoulders of giants, not just Paul Levine, but his mother, Huldah Levine. And so I'd ask you to commit to joining the Huldah Levine Prayer Band. We ask that you join hands with us this January so that we can ensure the gospel's reach is felt worldwide. My question is, will you stand with us? If you'd like more information, go to BibleTractsInc.org/prayer. That's BibleTractsInc.org/prayer. My prayer, specifically right now and always, is that you have a great day for his glory. And we will plan on talking to you tomorrow, just 2 more days of Bible Tract Echoes this week. God bless.